Welcome, and thanks so much for joining us here on the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Deb Gillard, your host of the program, and today is Wednesday, May 9th. We are in a beautiful week of sunshine and a lot of green after all the rain that we've had, and good time to maybe start thinking about getting out and digging in the dirt and doing some planting. If you haven't been already, we do know some people have certainly been out in their yards and doing some of that work already, but now hopefully we have the good weather in earnest, and we're very happy to have you with us on the Owatonna Today Show. Whether you're joining us on one of the many forums, you can find us on the internet. We of course have a Facebook page. You can find us and like us. You can find us through YouTube or Google, and it'll get you to Blip TV or wherever we happen to be out there with our programs online, and of course Charter Channel 8 cable TV in the Owatonna area. Our cell phone numbers and our email address are on the screen throughout the course of the program, so if you ever have guest ideas or show topic ideas, or certainly some of the information that we pass along at the end of the program about things that are going on in the community, please get a hold of us in one of those ways, and we're happy to hear from you as well. We have a very good show coming up for you. We've got Tanya here from Safe and Drug Free Coalition. She's going to be starting the beginning of our program, and later on in the program we'll be talking about that wonderful spring cleanup that makes our downtown sparkle, and that's all through the work of the ALC. So we'll be doing that later on in the program. So let's take this break for our supporters, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jody Voisin with the staff at Fairview Animal Medical Center, your other family doctor. Fairview Animal Medical Center is a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
Recreational fires are allowed within the Owatonna city limits. They must be contained within a fire pit or a device designed for such use, and can be 3 feet in diameter and no more than 3 feet high. They must be 25 feet from a building or combustibles. Only untreated or unpainted woods must be used. Fires must be attended by a person at all times that are capable of extinguishing the fire. This has been a safety tip from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Hi, we're Mark and Becky Stevens of the Owatonna Pizza Ranch.
And we support the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us on this Wednesday, May 9th. Tanya Paley joins us from Safe and Drug Free Coalition. How are you?
Good morning, Deb. I'm doing great.
Happy spring.
Happy spring to everybody.
What a beautiful, beautiful week, and lots of activities now in the works, and things that, of course, we need to be mindful of with the along the lines of Safe and Drug Free Coalition. We'll talk a little bit about those. But last time we had you on, one of the things that was in the works was a parents group luncheon. And
that's right.
We have a little more detail to give everybody here today, and so let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's coming right up, actually. Tuesday, May 15th is the lunch, and it starts at 11:30 at the Owatonna Country Club. Our parents group, we've talked about that one before. They had said they thought it would be a nice thing to have a lunch for parents, that maybe lunchtime would be a good time to catch people. Sometimes evenings are hard.
Well, we get so wrapped up in a lot of other activities.
Yep.
Sometimes if we can take a break and have lunch and get good information at the same time, that works out for a lot of people.
Exactly. So we're trying that, and we're bringing in a speaker that we're really excited about.
Okay.
Her name is Erin Walsh. And I don't know if your viewers have heard of David Walsh. He's actually a national expert. He's written a number of books, but one called Why Do They Act That Way? And it's about teenagers. And he's up at the U, and this is his daughter. She's been working with him for a while now. Worked at the Search Institute and also teaches at the U. And she's a dynamic speaker, really great. She's going to talk about the teenage brain. There's a lot that we know now about how teenagers think and why they think that way. But also, how can we work with teenagers and really bring out, help guide them, help them with their, this phase of life where they're breaking away and making their own choices. And we know that the brain is wired for them to take some risks, so we want to figure out how to help them with that and help them to understand why they might be feeling the way they're feeling about something. Okay. So that's really, she's going to be talking about that. So she'll talk from noon to 1 with, of course, some time for questions. The coalition is paying her speaker fee, and so the only cost for the event is for the nice lunch at the country club, and so that will be $10 at the door.
Okay.
But we do need RSVPs, Deb, by tomorrow, actually, the 10th, so we
Okay.
can give a final count to the country club. So we would love to have as many people join us as would like. This is great for grandparents, it's great for parents, it's great for folks who work with teenagers or maybe just love a teenager and want to figure out how to support them. So it should be a good opportunity for lots of folks. So again, if you would like to come to this lunch, the best way to RSVP would probably be to call me at the contact information on the screen, or you can just call the United Way.
Or through the United Way.
Yep,
Okay.
just go through the United Way. If you didn't write that phone number down and you forget and you want to figure out how to get to us, just call the United Way and say, I'm calling to RSVP for the parents' lunch, the Erin Walsh lunch. She will have copies of that book, actually, if people are interested in that.
This is Dad's book.
Her dad's book, yep. Her dad, David, now speaks, as I said, nationally, and so she's actually in the book as a teenager.
Oh, okay. So I'm sure that comes out as part of her speaking.
So I'm sure she talks about that as well.
Okay. So
yeah.
she was a study subject in a way.
In a way. And, actually parents have asked me, would this be a good talk if you're already concerned about somebody? And I think it would. I mean, it kind of would hit kind of anywhere along that spectrum of, I have a teenager and I just want to support them too. There's someone I'm concerned about. What's the best way to talk to them? What's the best way to work with them?
Okay.
So we're really excited about that event.
Okay, it sounds so interesting to me. Any of us who have shepherded a teen through anything or have worked with teens or have some of our own, there is a change that
Yes.
goes on. I have sometimes said they lose their brain for a while and then it sort of comes back later, but
Yeah.
and that's sort of how you feel. It's like, what are they doing? And of course we want them to gain their independence, but some of those ways we don't want it to be in a dangerous
Sure.
situation, of course.
Sure, and I have a young teenager, I've shared that before, and I know for her, sometimes it's frustrating. She doesn't really even know why she's feeling the way she's feeling or how to
I
kind
think
of
that's very true.
get out of the situation that she's in. She kind of says something and then we're stuck in that place, and just figuring out how to get past that and to say, hey, you know what, this is what's going on. Let's take 5 and come back and talk about it in, 15, 20 minutes when we've had a chance to really give it some thought. So.
And then when you were talking about, too, the risk-taking, that we know that's it's part of asserting their independence, I think, and some of that branching out and wanting to do those things, but there are hopefully safe ways that we can guide them to maybe feeling like there's some risk-taking and some adventurous spirit type things,
Sure.
but that are in safe environments
Sure.
and fun and safe things that they can do without having to cross the line into something that is not safe.
Yep, and risk-taking can be a positive thing.
Oh,
We want
absolutely.
them to do that. So I also have been thinking about this issue of independence, especially with prom and graduation parties
Yes.
coming up.
Yes.
And I have started to give my children more independence, and figuring out how to do that in a safe way, I think, is important. So I did want to make sure to just hit on a couple of things to
Please.
talk to your teen about if they're heading out for prom this weekend.
Okay, we have Owatonna prom. We have a couple of
Yep.
proms in the area that have passed already last weekend, but Owatonna's is this weekend.
Yep. So obviously Medford and Blooming Prairie, this is more about graduation parties, but we know we have a lot of kids going out for prom this weekend. And I would just say, first of all, and I'm sure parents, this is just a reminder for parents, I'm sure they know most of this, but obviously you want to know what the plan is and how you can get in contact with them. And now that they all have cell phones, it's also good to have that backup number of if they're going to somebody's house after prom,
Sure.
having that location's phone number in case you need to reach them. The other thing that I would just kind of walk them through the steps of, what are you going to do if you go to a party and there's alcohol or something else there? What's the plan? What are you going to do?
You don't want to be there, maybe.
Right.
You want
Right.
some sort of out or some way to get out of the situation.
Yep, so, I'm sure most parents already have a plan for that situation, maybe a code word or a way that they can call you and say they need a ride home. But just thinking that through with your teen, they may not think that's going to happen. They may know that it's going to happen, and just saying, what are you going to do if you're in that situation? Second thing is transportation. That's a really big one. And they're going to want the independence to go with their friends, but saying, what are you going to do if the driver that's driving the car has had something to drink or something else in their system, you know, I really want you to, this is kind of some information about why that's a dangerous choice to make. Because we know a lot of kids report that they've been in a car with a driver that's impaired sometime in the last year. And we know how unsafe that is, and especially on prom night. So just thinking that all through.
Far too many things that we hear that happen at this time of the year, and it's so tragic and so sad when we know that they could have been prevented. And they do center around proms and gatherings and fun and activity, and all those types of things that you were just talking about do happen. There are the parties. There is access to some of the things that they shouldn't be doing and having, and it puts them in dangerous situations. And I think that sometimes teenagers too, even those that are in the car, if they're not partaking perhaps, don't know how to say no. To not get in that vehicle with somebody. And like you said, if you have a plan set up ahead of time, how much better then they just go to that plan.
Exactly.
And they don't have to think about it or what it should be. They just go to that plan.
Yep, and I know some parents actually look at limos and other things so that there's, you know, they know that there is not going to be that issue. But, you know, the other thing too, I would say, is we have a really great after prom here in our community. And
very well supported.
Yes, very well supported. You know, they have some great activities. So I would really encourage your teenagers to go to that. And then, you know, once they get there, they're in good hands and they're having fun.
It's a blast. They win all sorts of prizes, and they do seem to have a really good time with that. And again, you know where they are at that time, and so that's a great thing.
You know, we have said before that curfews are really important even for older teenagers, and that it's these kind of events where there is no curfew, or you might, you know, say you're more flexible with the curfew, where they have new choices to make. And so that's why I think it's so important to just talk to your teen and say, hey, you know, I was a teenager too. I know some of what you're going to see tonight.
They don't believe us when they say that. When we say, I know they don't, but but if you can kind of try to talk their language, and I think the main thing that you always try to say is to talk, is to open up the lines of communication. They may be uncomfortable with you doing that at first, but if you can just get some things talked out, I think ultimately they and you are going to feel a whole lot better too.
And we know that they're actually listening, even when they're not looking like they're listening.
I know, and digesting some of that information in that teenage brain. So again, get a hold of the Safe and Drug-Free Coalition if you want to attend the Parents' Luncheon next Tuesday. Do that right away. They do need the RSVPs, and certainly let's keep our teens safe during prom and graduation parties. And Tanya, thanks so much for the great information, as always. All right. We'll take a break for our supporters, and we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Dave Efforts with TPS Insurance, and we are proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Mayo Clinic Health System in Owatonna, in partnership with Hy-Vee, Owatonna Hospital, Owatonna Park and Rec, Youth First, and local businesses encourage you to join the 2012 On the Move Community Walking Program. The program will kick off on April 17th at 6 o'clock at Mineral Springs Park and runs through May 21st. Our goal is to walk around the globe with the final destination of London, England, the home of the 2012 Olympics. The program is simple. Simply call in your steps on Monday mornings at On the Move at mayo.edu. Track your steps throughout the weeks, and we'll look forward to seeing you on May 21st at the celebration. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Doug Johnson with the Owatonna Business Incubator. We're here to help small businesses start and to grow. We're a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
I didn't just want another job, I wanted a career. So I expressed myself.
I was new to town and I didn't know where to turn for a job. So I decided to express myself.
I decided to express myself, and they helped find the right career for me.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today.
Welcome back, and thanks again for joining us for the second part of our program here on this Wednesday, May 9th, and we welcome in studio Don Hettinga. How are you?
Good. How are you, Deb?
Good. And again, you're with the
Owatonna ALC.
Owatonna ALC, and your role there, Don?
I'm the social studies teacher, and I also help
coordinate this downtown cleanup that we're here to talk
We're going to be
about
talking about. And you brought with you we have a fly on the table too that's also joining us as a guest there, Antonio. You can just hello, fly. I was, out of the corner of my eye as I was looking at you, I see this little black thing coming across the tablecloth. Antonio Jandro, how are you?
I'm very good. How
I didn't mean to have you upstaged by the fly. Sorry about that. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I'm just joining the ALC this year. It's my first year, and I love it.
Do you?
It's the best way to learn ever because there's smaller classrooms, and you can actually get to know your teachers, and I love it.
Okay. Did you, in a different traditional school setting, were you finding that more difficult for yourself?
It's very hard. I went to the high school for my freshman year, and it was kind of hard to do all the classroom work because you never get to know your teacher. And it was really hard to, get used to that because you're used to learning from somebody that you actually know.
Okay, all right. So the class sizes are much smaller at the ALC, and
some of them can be bigger,
Okay.
but a lot of them are like smaller classrooms.
it maybe just feels like a smaller environment too. So even if the class is bigger, you feel like you know your teachers a little bit better.
I have a classroom where, last I think quarter it was just me and him pretty much the whole time.
Wow, that's one-on-one teaching. That works all right.
We've been doing a lot of inquiry projects. We're trying to get students more into inquiry-based type learning where they set up some of the projects and then use the different skills and the things they're interested in to try and come up with some new projects. Antonio is incredibly musically talented. He can do things with musical software and things like that just blow me away. So he's also a musician in a band. So
okay, that's a talent and a love of yours, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's a good example of a student who's very distractible in the big classroom. I mean, it provides it's tough for him to focus on what's going on. So our environment is built for kids like him.
Okay. And we were just talking, I don't mean to make a joke about this at all, but we were just talking about the teenage brain. And there are differences, of course, in the way that we know that students learn, whether it's at the younger level or the older level. And you just talked a little bit about that. Maybe the traditional classroom setting for you, Antonio, just too distracting and didn't work as well for you, but obviously this is working very well for you, and that's why we call it alternative, right? Because it's a great alternative for some of you students. So loving it so far, and we're glad to hear that.
Definitely.
Okay, good for you. What are your plans for the future, do you think?
Well, I really wanted to go to the School of Production and Recording, IPR, when I graduate. That should be fun because I already do like all my own recording for my home studio and everything. Wow. So like I record bands already, and I just really want to learn more about it so I can actually record pro-sounding stuff someday.
Okay. Sounds like I said, sounds like a talent and a passion and perhaps a life's work for you that will have you gainfully employed. So good for you. So you are worked into this cleanup as well. So obviously being your first year at the ALC, your first year with the cleanup, and what have you been involved with so far?
Well, we did the mailing of letters to all the different businesses and stuff to have them maybe pitch in some money to pay for it. And we got all the shirts. I walked down to where we got the shirts and we did all that. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing.
Okay.
But Don knows a whole bunch of other stuff.
He does, I know, but we were talking about that a little bit. This is how many years for the cleanup,
This
Don?
is the ninth year.
Ninth year. So it's a nice little formula that you get to follow now,
That's
isn't it?
right. John Dickerman, who used to teach at the school, used to do the business and community service class, he laid the groundwork really well. So now it's basically following some formulas and just filling in the blanks on a lot of the paperwork that's already been set up, so we know when to contact the businesses, when we need to get our shirt logos done, when we need to break students into the work groups and things like that.
And it's been such a positive experience, I think, for all concerned, for what it does for the downtown, for the students at the ALC, for the community, seeing that good work that they're doing and supporting it as well. You have such great supportership from the downtown businesses.
We do. I was just talking to someone from the city this morning. They were just finalizing the details because we have to get some things set up as far as just coordinating that stuff. But they've been working with the street department has just been awesome. They've always been big supporters in the Owatonna Business Partnership. It's been a good opportunity for our kids to get some positive interaction with leaders in the downtown area, and just to, that's a life skill as well that they can take beyond our doors.
It is, and I think, again, it's been a proven performance thing, so I think that people are really anxious and willing to give because the outcome is just so great. It is actually this Friday,
Yes.
Weather permitting, looks
It looks good.
So
yeah.
far, so good. It looks like we're going to have some nice weather. We've only been, how many times has it had to been moved? A couple times
only
out of
twice.
the 9 years?
Only twice out of
out
9
of the 9
years,
years, which, could happen again. But
Yeah,
if
given the May weather, you never know.
I
but
know,
we've been
I know.
pretty lucky.
I know. If it would have been last weekend or something, we could have been rained out. But it looks like Friday will be a go. And let's remind people now. Well, they've got T-shirts. What are we going to see? What are they going to look like this year?
They're orange.
They're orange.
They got
okay.
a picture of like Mr. Clean.
All right.
It's Mr. Clean Up. We
Mr. Clean Up.
We don't want to violate any trademarks.
Exactly. You got to be
Mr.
careful
Clean Up.
about all those things. Mr. Clean Up. All right, in the downtown area.
Yep.
And they'll be starting about when, Don?
We'll get going about 9:30. We get
Okay.
together with some of the people from the Downtown Business Project and with the city workers, and we have a breakfast and kind of give everyone their work plans, and
Okay.
we actually get about 9:30
Okay.
when it dries out a little bit.
Do we have every student from the school involved?
Yeah, there's a
much?
few of them who, if they have any special needs, might stay back at the school, just helping clean up with some projects there. But
Okay.
everyone will be involved, and it's not just the ALC; it's the Actions program, which is attached to our building that will be out as well.
Wonderful. Okay, so we'll see a whole lot of about how many kids do you think will be? Well, and there's kids and adults
between,
too. But
Yeah, between students and adults, I think about 75 people.
okay, all throughout the downtown area, and you're going to clean kind of the general parameters of where you end up cleaning up.
We usually from about the trail downtown.
Okay.
So from about the Canning Company down to Morehouse, and
Okay.
then everything over to about Elm.
Okay.
Within that.
It's really comprehensive, and they're out there digging in, right?
Yeah.
They've got brooms, shovels in some cases.
Yeah.
I know there's some yucky stuff that has to be cleaned, gloves, and all sorts of stuff are going on, right?
Well, I was wondering how much stuff might have gotten washed away this weekend and helped us out a little bit.
Yeah, we'll
it's
see.
Nothing, it's nothing
You'll
like
see
the
on
first
Friday.
years where there was a lot of stuff in the alleys.
That's very true when you first start a project like this and nobody's done it for years and years and years.
Yeah, some of the
Lots
stuff we found was very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So hopefully as this can... Dare we say any of the
No,
things?
let's not,
Okay.
let's not.
I don't know. That look on your face was like, okay, don't ask me, but I had to anyway. So I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it's everything. It's in the alleys and the parking lots and the streets and the street corners, and everything looks so nice when it's done. And then the street crew comes through afterwards, right?
Yep,
And washes
and
everything
they'll
down.
sweep up the streets and pick up all the bags of garbage, and yeah, it's a kind of a comprehensive cleaning.
It is
Yeah.
very nice. A deep clean spring cleaning for
Spring
our
cleaning for the
downtown, and we
downtown,
love it. And then you kind of get to celebrate afterwards in the park, right?
Yes, we do. The businesses always put on a barbecue lunch for us, hot dogs and hamburgers, and it's a very nice way of them saying thanks, and we appreciate it so much, all the
Yeah.
hard work they do on that.
Yeah, yeah. Are you looking forward to it, Antonio?
Definitely.
Are you? Okay. You got a group of, about how many are in each group as do you think will be planned? 6, 8?
It's about 5, 6.
5 or 6
per
kids
group.
in each one. Wow, that's a lot of groups that are going to be all over the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've probably seen it happening before, certainly
yeah,
seen
I've
the
seen it, yeah,
results of it and
around.
everything. You ready
Yeah.
to dig in?
Oh yeah.
Okay. You did bring an outgoing guy here today, didn't you? All right,
Yeah,
good for you.
He's ready to dig into most things. So.
All right, good for you. And what are some of the things you found have been good so far about working with it?
Well, at the ALC, there's this thing called Map Stars, and I'm in that, and we went to the state convention, and I played drums there, and it was really fun. I liked doing that, and the whole thing was really awesome. We got to stay at the Ramada Inn.
Okay.
It was really fun.
All right. Well, you're having a great experience at the ALC. It sounds like you're going to have a great experience with the cleanup, and best of luck with everything else that you do in your life. Moving forward, it sounds like you've got some talents to work with, and we're very happy for you. So good for you, Antonia, and thanks so much for joining us. Don, if people still want to get involved in any way, shape, or form, we've got a contact phone number, or
Yes,
call
they
the
can-
ALC if they
can
want
call
to chip in.
the ALC. They can call the ALC at 455-1302. If they have anything else they want to donate or help out with, or we'd be glad if former students, if any of you are watching this, you're welcome to come down. We usually get a few alumnus
Really?
who will stop in, and yeah, this is when a lot of kids look back on their their time with us. This is a lot of times what they point to as one of the highlights. Because it's just a chance to get out and do something different, different than the normal class time. So
And let's safely say that I think any of us that have been involved in things like this before, it always feels good to give, and especially if people are really appreciative of what you've done, and you kind of see a finished product. That's always nice.
Right.
And it does. It kind of holds a special place, I think, in your heart that you can look back to. So, okay, alumni, you're invited. Definitely want to get you out there. I'm sure you'll provide them with a T-shirt if you're able, and,
Oh, yeah,
and
we got a few
some
extras.
gloves and things that they can do. So, well, congratulations again to all of them, all of the students throughout the 9 years here that have, or through the 8 years leading up to this one that have made it such a great project.
Thank you, Deb.
For your work with it in years two, Antonio, and all the other students. So thank you again. Great cleanup. We'll be, like I said, we'll be sparkling as of Friday afternoon, and then the baskets go up and banners go up and all sorts of
It'll
fun
be
things
beautiful.
like that. It will be beautiful. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, have a great Friday. We'll take a break for our supporters, and we'll be right back.
Hi, Warren Abraham, Abraham Consulting Technologies, your one-stop technology shop. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Hello, I'm Sean McNulty with the Sterling House Assisted Living, a part of Brookdale Senior Living. Our mission is to enrich the lives of those we serve with compassion, respect, excellence, and integrity. We are a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back, and it's time to wrap up the program here on this Wednesday, May 9th. The Women's Club is seeking applicants for charity proceeds. Friday, May 11th. In fact, this Friday is the deadline for organizations to submit inquiries for the proceeds from the Women's Club annual charity event, sponsored by the Women's Club of Owatonna. You can send your request to Diane Engelstad at 3055 3rd Avenue Northeast in Owatonna. Again, that's 3055 3rd Avenue Northeast. They, of course, are always looking for charitable contributions, donation or organizations to donate to for that charitable event that they hold each year. So congratulations to the Women's Club for doing that. And, of course, for those of you that wish to be recipients, please get a hold of them. There will be a low-cost spay-neuter clinic in Owatonna this Saturday, May 12th. The services are by Kindest Cut, hosted by the Steele County Humane Society. They are offering low-cost spay-neuter services for dogs, cats, and rabbits, and along with house cats, free roaming community outdoor cats, feral cats are welcome. To register, you can visit the Kindest Cuts website, which is just that, kindestcutmn.com, or call 763-489-7729. Again, if you want that information again, because I know it's just hard to get it like that in verbal form, so go ahead and call the Steele County Humane Society to get that information from them if you would like, and their number is 451-4512. Let's see what else we can talk about here that is coming up. At the recent annual volunteer luncheon, the Owatonna Hospital Auxiliary recognized members who have reached milestones in their volunteer hours. We want to acknowledge them. The PIN recipients were 100 hours. There were 48 volunteer recipients, 500 hours. There were 11 recipients, and 1,000 hours. We're going to name those: Levon Amberg, Rhonda Christensen, Janet D. Hagan, Elda Krause, Mary Olkerling, Sandra Ost, Inez Rogers, 2,000 hours, Evelyn Hirschberger, Beverly Page, Marcia Sullivan, 3,000 hours, Janet Hagan, Marie Sikora, 4,000 hours, Marilyn Ebling, 5,000 hours, Betty Przinski, and 11,000 hours, Shirley Nelson. So again, good work to all those auxiliary members for all the work that they have done and for their recognition. Coming up on Friday's program, we'll be talking Leadership Owatonna and Express Employment Professionals. So please join us then. Have a great day.